All scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. 2 Timothy 3:16. It's easy to wonder why the Son of God, the very author of life, never picked up a pen to write his own gospel. But Jesus' mission was never to produce pages. It was to produce disciples. He didn't write because he was the Word, and every word he spoke was already the perfect revelation of God. The truth he carried wasn't meant to be stored in ink. It was meant to be carried in hearts that would live it out. When Jesus spoke, eternity itself echoed. His words created worlds, healed sickness, and stilled storms. The living voice of God doesn't need parchment to prove its power. The one time we see Jesus write, it's not in a book or on stone, but in the dust, a canvas that would soon blow away. That moment shows us something beautiful. What he wrote wasn't for historians to preserve, but for sinners to experience. His words were meant to stir conviction, not collect dust in a scroll. Jesus' silence in writing was never absence. It was invitation. He wanted his followers to carry his message, not just quote it. He wrote in hearts that would beat with mercy, compassion, and truth. When he ascended, he didn't leave behind volumes of his handwriting. He left behind people transformed by his Spirit. Then, through that same Spirit, men like Matthew, John, Peter, and Paul became his instruments, recording what he said and did, not as editors, but as witnesses of the living Word. In a world obsessed with permanence, Jesus taught something radical. The most enduring truths are written in love, not ink. His gospel wasn't meant to be confined to pages, but to come alive in people. Living, breathing testimonies of his grace. The beauty of his unwritten gospel is that it continues every day through us. The question isn't why he didn't write. It's whether his message is still being written through you and me. Life application. Jesus still writes today, but his ink is grace and his parchment is people. When you forgive someone who hurt you, when you love without reward, when you show mercy to the undeserving, that's his handwriting showing through your life. The world doesn't need another scroll. It needs believers whose lives speak louder than sermons. Be the living letter someone reads today and sees Jesus between every line. Thought-provoking. Question. If your life were a page in the story Jesus is still writing, what truth would your page reveal?